Hello everybody and welcome to Car Confections and welcome to part 2 of our all-new Lexus GX review. Now today is the day we can finally show you what this all-new GX is like behind the wheel, and we cannot wait to dive into that. In this test drive, we're going to be talking about quite a few different things, as you can see on the screen right now, including getting our sound level reading so we can see how quiet this GX is. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start with an acceleration.
Alright, so there we are, accelerating up to a little above 60 miles per hour with this new turbocharged powertrain. So of course that's, the big news with this GX, or one of the several big stories about this, is the fact that we've moved away from that traditional V8 powertrain and gone to a 3.4 liter twin turbocharged V6 engine. Now, to remind you guys of the power figures, 349 horsepower, but 479 pound-feet of torque. So a lot of torque on board, and you can definitely feel that.
Oh yeah.
As soon as you get on the gas. Now, a lot of people, nostalgically think about the V8, and that's fine. The V8 was a good, reliable engine. It sounded really, really nice, but power was not its strength. It was on the weaker side of things, and this here does make about 50 more horsepower and substantially more torque as well. And you're going to get that torque at a lower RPM as well, so you don't have to rev it out. All that really contributes to making this feel a lot faster, not just a little bit, a lot faster.
Nice.
All right, that was an acceleration. Pretty flat ground from a complete stop. Takes just a second, I think, for the turbos to spool up, but then you're off to the races, and actually kind of tilt up a little bit. Yeah. It takes off.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, another modernized aspect of the powertrain is that we have a 10-speed automatic transmission on board. This is a transmission that Toyota has used in several applications for their truck-based architecture, and it's nice and smooth in this vehicle as well. When you put your foot down, you don't have to wait too long to get a downshift. Of course, you can also shift between several different gears quite quickly as well. And we have been, to clarify, in the sport mode.
All right, and this is a luxury SUV after all, so let's go ahead and talk about the ride quality of this all-new GX. Now, we are in an Overtrail Plus trim level, so I just want to go ahead and get that out of the way, what trim level we're sitting in today. That is the most off-road capable, which does mean that we have all-terrain 33-inch tires, which does definitely impact your ride quality a little bit. I feel a little bit of just tire feel, the knobbiness of the tires you can feel in the suspension setup, but overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I will say that you can feel some kind of vibrations in the suspension setup, so it's not going to be as smooth as something like a Lexus TX, for example. However, it does a really good job of just taking out all the harshness in the bumps. So if you go over a big bump, it's really going to do a fantastic job of soaking that up.
Right, at the end of the day, the best way to think about this GX is this is still a body-on-frame traditional truck SUV, which does mean it's going to have those characteristics. You are going to feel the small vibrations still enter into the cabin, but it really takes care of, like Mason was saying, these large impacts. Obviously, this is very off-road worthy, off-road tuned in terms of suspension, and that's going to give you that everyday comfort.
Yeah, and I do want to point out that we have an adaptive variable suspension, and that's going to be on the Overtrail, the Overtrail Plus, and both of the luxury versions. So you do get an adaptive variable suspension, which helps you to, adapt to different driving situations. So right now we're in the comfort setting, but as you cycle through, you will notice some differences.
Yeah, absolutely. In this comfort setting, it's just going to be a little bit softer overall, and then we were in the sport version. That's going to, firm it up just a little bit, as you'd expect. None of the versions, though, are going to make this, turn into a sports car or anything like that. That's for sure. It is, at the end of the day, you know, still a very traditional SUV.
I love the torque though. Wow.
Yeah, that's just a more casual acceleration, and it, in a way, that almost feels just as fast as when you completely floor it, because the torque still pushes you back in the seat. No matter what, this is not going to be a firm riding truck, that's for sure. This is definitely, you know, tuned for comfort and off-road capability, and you can tell that. Even when we're going low speed here, as I round some of these corners, you're going to see that there is a pretty good amount of body roll, that's for sure.
Yeah. These roundabouts are really good for that.
Yeah, see, that demonstrates that pretty easily there. Yeah, so definitely keep in mind there's going to be a good amount of body roll, but that has a lot to do with the way that they've tuned it for off-road capability.
Now, as far as other things to mention, I do want to point out that every GX does have standard four-wheel drive, and it's a full-time four-wheel drive setup. You also have a center locking differential, so very capable even in the standard versions. However, if you choose an Overtrail Plus trim level, you're additionally going to get a rear locking differential. So you get the additional capability if you choose the Overtrail. It's not just about design, you get the additional capability of having the rear locking diff as well.
So we're out in Tucson, Arizona, well, outside of Tucson, Arizona, kind of out in the middle of the desert. Right now we're just crawling over some relatively low speed dirt, or should I say mud road at this point. It doesn't rain very often in the desert, but we gave
today
a big rain earlier today, and because of that we have a lot of mud, which actually is making things pretty fun.
Oh, absolutely. Earlier, we were going through 6 inches to maybe a foot of standing water, and this GX absolutely handled it like a champ. And as you can see, we're getting over, you know, a little bit more technical stuff right through here, and this GX is absolutely a beast off-road. As you would expect, this is a very off-road capable product, and the Overtrail adds a few extra goodies, that's for sure, over the regular GX.
Right, so if you remember from the main video, all GXs are going to have the center locking differential, but when you have the Overtrail, you're also going to get the rear locking differential. You get a lot of additional features that are going to give you more off-road ability, like Mason was saying. One of them is crawl control. We were using that earlier. It's just, in essence, you know, kind of your off-road cruise control for low speed. The other thing I really like about this, and we're probably going a little bit too fast right now,
I think 5 is the cutoff.
About 5 miles an hour, you have a off-road camera system. See if we can just kind of slow down just a little bit so I can pop it up. Yeah, as you can see, we have this really cool multi-terrain camera, and it gives you so many useful views. You have this kind of transparent view when you're looking at the front and you're looking at the back, just allowing you to really maneuver around different obstacles when you're in a kind of a technical piece of terrain. Also, with the Overtrail, we have 8.9 inches of ground clearance versus the other ones are sitting at about 8.7 inches of ground clearance. That's pretty good, of course. You don't have an air suspension or anything like that, so this is not going to be something that adjusts, but that is a good amount of ground clearance. You also have good approach and departure angles, and importantly, we have a real skid plate, so that's going to protect you when you get into some of the, you know, rocky stuff. I admittedly did hit something earlier that made a little bit of noise, but you know you're protected because you hit the skid plate.
Yeah. All right, let's get our sound level reading going 55 miles per hour. .6 decibels is our official Car Confections sound level reading here in Tucson, Arizona. So I do want to point that out.
In a sense, it's not really the official.
It's official for now. hopefully Lexus will send us one of these GXs so we can test it back in our home state of Kentucky and get it on our official sound level reading road. But this is going to give you a good reference point as to how quiet this cabin is. Honestly, at 59 decibels, that's a pretty darn good sound level reading for as rough of a road as what we're riding on right now. These desert roads are really loud for the most part, and we are also in the Overtrail Plus with the big all-terrain tires, which is certainly making some noise intrusion into the cabin. So I will say, I think this new GX is quite quiet, but I don't have to sit here and guess because I actually go to carconfections.com/sound level readings, and we posted all of the sound level readings for all the cars that we've reviewed on our channel, so we can compare to some of those rivals you may be looking at. Now that does mean it tests higher than all the other vehicles in the segment that we've tested out that compare with this GX. However, we've said it multiple times already, we are in Arizona, so this is not our official sound level reading. Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date when we do our sound level reading here in Kentucky. And as far as your fuel economy is concerned, the EPA hasn't officially rated this vehicle yet, but we do have a Lexus estimated figure of 17 miles a gallon combined. To be exact, it's 15, 21, 17. That's not great fuel economy, but this is a big box. You have seen the exterior design of this. This is not an aerodynamic vehicle. That's not its purpose. It is supposed to be off-road capable and have that really cool design, so you do pay a penalty when it comes to fuel economy. Also, you do have a very powerful engine under the hood.
Yeah, and Lexus has confirmed that they are going to offer a hybrid. We talked about that in the first part, but I do want to reiterate that they will be offering a hybrid version of this for sure, but we don't have any specifications on that right now, and they don't have a firm date on when it will be available, just that it will be offered at a later time. So if fuel economy bothers you, then you will have an option. You can pretty much assume that the hybrid version is going to do better than that.
One would hope. And as far as your warranty is concerned, you will have Lexus Signature Warranty, which is going to be a 4-year, 50,000-mile basic warranty, a 6-year, 70,000-mile powertrain warranty. You do also get 2 complimentary service visits. So very good warranty, especially when you're comparing it to a lot of the other rivals that you might be looking at, especially the Germans. They definitely don't give you as long of a warranty as that.